Hello there, yes. Better wrap up warm today, I think. Anyway, yesterday we had a new post in Spiked by Frank Furedi. And he's asking some questions about young people and their nefarious attitudes. Yes, why are young people falling for Hamas propaganda? Survey after survey shows Western youngsters are sympathising or even supporting this murderous Islamic terror group. Identity politics has warped their minds, says Frank. Yes, indeed. Now, for those of you that don't know, Frank is a professor of sociology at Canterbury, and I find it very, very strange the way that he keeps coming out with this incredibly reactionary stuff. And of course, as a professor of sociology, you would expect him to have a slightly deeper understanding of the mechanisms of power, especially in relation to young people and what they're likely to do. But of course, Frank doesn't exist in the standardised world of sociology professorship because he has a long and interesting history, which sometimes is worthwhile just digging up, because he's an old revolutionary, of course, a sort of Trotskyite in his youth. And all those people associated with Spiked, who were his mates way back in the day when he was trying to flog magazines to the gullible, are safely ensconced in various sort of right-wing institutions where they can write utter drivel, a bit like he often does. He's a good friend, for example, of the Hungarian government, as it is currently characterised because of his background. But, I do find it, to my way of thinking, someone my age, Frank's a little bit older than me, but it's fairly disingenuous what he's writing, because, of course, I can remember back in the day when Frank was flogging magazines to the gullible, that, of course, he would have been supporting a wide variety of liberation struggles as a young person on the left, and, from Nicaragua to Northern Ireland, a bunch of murderous terrorists, as they would have been at the time, because that's what young people do, don't they? And, we are once again back where young people feel disenfranchised from the economic system. So what do you expect them to do, Frank, on a sort of sociological basis? Should they just be those conformists like Merton would want them to be and just get on with it, eh? I think, according to you and your paymasters, that is what they should indeed do. I would be intrigued to know what his students think of him in terms of sort of pumping out this patent right-wing grifterdom that he does. You can read the Spiked article. There's not really a lot more to it than the tweet. It's nefarious groups in society who are pushing a line and communism and identitarian Gramsci and schools, and it's all the usual stuff. Anyway, I think if Frank ever does get to a position where he gets more power, I would strongly suggest that he shoots the caricaturist that produces the small pen and ink drawings that go next to the articles, because that one's slightly less than flattering. Anyway, do have a lovely, lovely Wednesday if you can do. Do wrap up warm. It's definitely going to be a bit nip.